करके या फिर एक का नाम लिख दो।
The distinctive feature about the Mindspark program is it is an adaptive logic learning program. So basically what it does is it adapts to a child's level. It first tests the child and understands the level of understanding that the child has in mathematics and language. And from there on it goes on teaching the child. So it works on the constructivist theory of learning by answering questions, and that's the unique nature of this program. Within this program, my role is that of a project manager of Mindspark Centers. Basically what this project is that we've opened up learning centers in different urban slum areas of Delhi, where children going to NCD schools, government schools, or even those who are non-school can come and learn maths and language through our program called Mindspark.
So we have a different background of the kids, like the kids who study in the government schools and also the kids from the private schools. The kids from the government schools are they who really belong to a very economically weaker section of the society.
I think the power of Mindspark is that any child anywhere with the access of computer and internet can use the program and learn math and language. So if anything, I only see that as adding value to a child's learning and knowledge. Typically in a 1 hour session, or half an hour session that we typically have in schools, a child is able to do 40 to 45, even 50 questions in that span of time, which is an immense amount of practice that a child gets in a subject. So I see that as really bolstering children's knowledge and understanding of these subjects.
तो बेटा है तो ये पहली बार आया है जहाँ पर? इसको क्यों लाया आप यहाँ पर? इसको क्या कराना है यहाँ पर?
सब पढ़ाना चाहता हूँ।
पढ़ाना चाहते हैं? आपने कहाँ से सुना यहाँ पर पढ़ाते हैं? हाँ?
तो सब बच्चे बताए।
Like anything else, I feel parental support is very, very important for the true effectiveness of Mindspark. We give regular reports to our parents so that they get to know the progress of the child. And based on that, they give feedback to their children, they give feedback to us, and all of that sort of helps make a very strong program. So I feel a parental support, parental importance, and understanding the value of personalized learning and learning with understanding is very, very important.
This shows the accuracy of the kids, like how are they doing Mindspark. Red means that they are doing wrong, and green means they are doing
So we feel that data of children and how they learn is very, very important. Over a span of 4-5 years, we've run Mindspark in various schools across the country, and at this point 80,000 plus students are using Mindspark, which gives us a wide amount of data about how children learn, how they are answering questions, where they are facing misconceptions. So that helps us also strengthen our program and deliver to what children need.
we tell them to write as properly as possible,
Okay.
but they write in their way, like date, the topic which they studied today, and the number of questions they did, and the number of questions correctly done by the kids.
Children today everywhere are exposed to a lot of content, media, television, learning through cartoons, through internet, and that's also sort of percolating in rural India also. And I don't see any harm in exposing children to that kind of content as long as it's educational, as long as learning outcomes are kept in mind. So the ultimate goal is that every child, whether they are in urban India or rural India, they learn with understanding, and that's what Mindspark aims to do. In fact, one of our centers in Sangam Vihar, whenever it rains, the place gets flooded completely. And our classes also do get affected at that point of time. So in terms of subjects, last year we started these Mindspark centers with maths and Hindi only. But looking at the response from the community and their demand for English, of course English is now aspirational in most urban rural India. So we've also now started a module on English. So in terms of subjects, these would be our 3 focus areas. In terms of expansion of the centers, we are definitely looking at expanding to about 30 centers in the next 2-3 years. Currently we have 5 centers running in the urban slum areas of South Delhi, namely Chhatrapur, Sangam Vihar, Tughlakabad Extension, Tekhand Village, which is here, and Govindpur.
Here in this community we have blackouts and the parents these kind of sections, and the landlord's children are studying in the private schools. So they are good enough, they don't need more attention. But the kids who we want to serve are the focus on us.
We have a project funded by the Torrent group in Ahmedabad, and there we are running Mindspark in Gujarati in about 20 government schools. The English Mindspark is the regular Mindspark wherein questions in mathematics come in English, and that's what we share with private schools across the country and even beyond. And Hindi is what the Hindi language program is what we offer in the center. So currently our focus is going to be on these 3 languages only.
The adaptive learning program. So the individual kid has to learn on its own level. There is no compulsion that kid has to study like what all the students are studying. Like if he is in class 5th or 6th, he is supposed to learn at its own level, like upon its own understanding. So this is the concept of the mind.
See, we've seen a lot of good work happening around us. Different organizations are trying to work in the space of education, primary education particularly, different NGOs also working in the same space. But I think where everybody sort of struggles is how to assess the impact of what they're doing. So whether we have non-formal teaching classes or formal education, what is the best way to test and understand whether a child has learned or not? That's where I think Mindspark is doing excellently well, because we have baseline data of how a child performed when they just came to Mindspark centers, and every quarter we take tests. So in every 3 months we have a level test where a child is assessed on the learning that has happened in the past 3 months. So overall we are able to get a sense that children coming to our centers in about a year's time, they're able to cover their learning gap of 2 years. So that I think is a phenomenal learning that happens at the centers, and that's where we want to support children and also help other organizations with this data.
We also conduct that small group instruction after the Mindspark session. So in this session we try to connect with the kids and try to know what are their capabilities, what are their capacities.
So if a child is facing issues with the content or not progressing, the center staff steps in and helps out the child, whether it is while they are monitoring the Mindspark sessions in the lab area, or it is by giving a separate class. So what we have is 45 minutes classes of Mindspark and 15 minutes small group instruction classes. That's where we, as facilitators, we help children understand various different concepts, like place value, like addition, subtraction, those that form the basic foundation of the students. So that's how we help, and also we share cluster reports with parents so that they get to see how their child is progressing at the Mindspark Center. So there's constant sort of intervention, there's constant help to the child. The power of e-learning, the power of technology, the internet, the fact that children learn a lot through visual content, more than books, more than reading for hours. So I think that definitely caters to how a child learns. And in the primary education space, I think that plays a very, very important. Of course, it needs to be monitored, it needs to be regulated, what kind of content the children are exposed to, what are the learning outcomes. But I think if done correctly, e-learning can be a great aid for educators, for teachers around the world to engage children in content and to really, for them to learn with understanding. In terms of the content that the children are exposed to. But a lot of information on the internet may not be regulated, may not be accurate. So that fear is always there. So definitely monitoring and regulating e-learning is very important.